Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Let's go. We've got a minute, and we're going to have some tea. You guys ready? Hi, everybody. Thanks for being in here, Shan. Mwah. Thank you, dear. Let's go, guys. We are going to start right at 8 o'clock. I'm going to tell you what, tonight's going to be a fun one. Mr. Rogers, Megan, thank you. Tammy, thank you guys so much. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Oh, shit show with the hand hearts. Thank you, guys. Oh, my God. Woo! We got yesterday done, and it feels good. And I can't not thank you guys enough for all of your support. It took 116 days for me to be able to get to the point where I felt comfortable enough to speak and to have a voice. And I talk with my hands a lot, so just get used to it. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you for everybody that was here. We had an incredible turnout last night. We've got an incredible turnout tonight, and all the support that's been out there. I was just completely overwhelmed with the amount of people that called, that message, that sent me their own stories of what they've gone through, that have sent me the stories that they've gone through with Hockey Golf Dad. And these are things that I didn't even know. And people felt safe after last night to be able to say something. And I really, really hope that you continue to do so, whether it's with another person in your life or the person that I was with. So speak up. Everybody's got a voice. Your story is so important. And that's why I'm here. That's the intent. This isn't a hate show. It's not. This is my opportunity to use my voice on a platform. And we're going to talk. And so tonight's theme is all about unpacking and literally unpacking. And so last night we there was a lot. It was trying to cram a lot into a very short amount of time. And I promise you, we are going to get to a lot of stuff because there were a lot of questions that I was unable to answer at the time, but we're going to get to those. And tomorrow, I'm going to invite some guests to join us as well so that they can share their story. But thank you all. Thank you for allowing me to have the opportunity to use my voice. And there's some things that we talked about last night that I want to dive deeper into, and we're going to unpack that. So, we talked about the time from when I left up until this point and everything that kind of went on. I was driving home from work and I had people calling me all day long and it was incredible. But I was driving home from work and I was having a great conversation with my sister. And phone rang and it came up on the screen and it was a name that I knew and I answered it. And it was my advocate through the courts. I've got two advocates, one through the local police department and one through the actual courts where my protective order and all the warrants come through. And my advocate called and I'm like, oh my God, the timing is impeccable. And she said, hey, Jen, I just want to call and let you know that everything is still active. Because I called with concerns. I really did, because there's a lot of stuff out there about, oh, I filled out this form or I filled out that form or I made this phone call. It's bullshit. It's very active. And in order for things to change, that's on my terms. Nobody else's, my terms. And so we had a great conversation. She asked, number one, are you safe? I said, I think I am. And we talked about a couple other things, but she assured me that everything is still in standing. There still are 3 active warrants for his arrest. And if he wanted to do something about it, he certainly could. He can contest all of these things. But that's going to take some work. That's going to take showing up here in Colorado. That would be appearing in court. And he had an opportunity to do that from the get-go, but didn't show up. The other thing that has to happen is he would have to work through the agency that issued the warrants, the 3 warrants. That's my hometown. Those people raised me. So that was a good call. That was a call that I needed when I was coming home from work after an incredible day. So let's talk about unpacking. So we talked about I left the house and I found a safe place with family, with friends. But let's go back to literally unpacking. And this stuff is going to blow your guys' mind. So I left on July 12th and I just took a duffel bag, really, of stuff. A couple things that I needed, a couple things that I needed to go on my trip, and left everything else there. I did pay rent, guys, just so that you're aware. I did. And I paid the utilities too, promise you. And I paid him up until the day he left that house. So I notified the landlord that I got a protection order, I'm out of there. And he said, okay, well, I'll talk with Hockey Golf Dad and we'll figure something out. And he said, okay, do I have your permission to put the house back up on the market? I said, 100%, I'm done. There's no way. And when I went to court in front of a judge to get the protection order, there's an option on this form that I could have filled out. And this is a section that's called the exclusion from places. And the places that I listed is where I'm currently at, my work, all of the locations. And typically they would just narrow it down to a couple different places, but they included every YMCA in here. But there's an option for me to mark down the place where I was living at the time, the house that we had shared that we were renting. And I did not check that box, you guys. And why did I do that? because I knew that I had a safe place to go. He had nowhere to go. I could have checked that box that would have immediately gotten him out of that house. I did not give him the mercy of staying there. So we're going to clear all that up. So I left and I just had a few things. I just had a duffel bag of stuff. And so fast forward to, I believe it was August 14th when I called the police department in Erie. And I said, I want my stuff. I want my stuff. And they said, okay, well, it's complicated because you guys can't be around each other and you can't contact each other. And so I asked the officer, I said, could you do me a solid and call him and ask him to leave from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on a Friday and a Saturday so that I could get some time to get my stuff. I couldn't do it with a civil standby. They give you 10, maybe 15 minutes if you're lucky to get your stuff. I had my entire life in that home. So the officer called. Hockey Golf Dad agreed to do that. And I was like, okay, we're going to do this. We did request that we have a standby comm. And then we felt, okay, we're safe because we had seen on Snapchat that he had taken off. Now let's stop there. For those that had watched the rants on Snapchat, you probably saw that he went on a big old fuck you tour and said, I'm done with Colorado. He went and traveled to, I believe, a counseling center to say goodbye. He even went to the tanning salon to go tell his friends at the tanning salon that he was going to leave the state. And he was like, fuck you, I'm out of here. And this whole thing on Snapchat. And he took off and drove back to Wyndham. Don't believe anybody was there. And then he went to, I believe it was some casino on his buddy's dime or comp or something like that. And so I said, okay, I'm safe. I can go in. I don't need a standby to go to the house. So that was on Friday, the 18th of August. And I had my family. I had the truck. We're ready to go. We go into the house. Everything is gone except for like the big pieces of furniture, sofa, chairs, bed. His clothes are gone, shoes. Every bit of food was gone. The pantry was cleaned out. He made it look like he was gone. Even the fire, the smoke detector was going off. Like he said, screw it. So we stuck with our timelines between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Got a load. All my belongings are in a storage unit, and they have been ever since. I was out by 3, and I knew he was out of the state. So then we went back the next morning, again, within our scheduled time. Got there at 9 a.m. And, something didn't feel right. I'm like, there's still just a little bit of chocolate milk left in the fridge. And sure as shit, he was back here the next morning. He was back in that home. So it was a whole ploy to make me think that he wasn't coming back, but he was. But what was left behind? And so with the officer, there were instructions. I said, please tell him that anything he does not want me to take to mark with tape. Very clear instructions. Of course, nothing was marked with tape. There was a bunch of stuff in the office, boxes of stuff, bunch of shit thrown in. And I was like, okay, well, this is my stuff. I'm going to take it. I took my clothes. So a couple of things. And this is where it gets really, really creepy. Okay, so I'm in my closet, packing up, all my clothes into duffel bags, and I have this, little drawer, and it's got my underwear in it. And I open it up, and sure as shit, there's the Colorado hat. The old stinky, sweaty Colorado hat is in my underwear drawer. Creepy. The other thing is, and if I could pull it up here, let's see if I can do it, because I don't know how to do the green screen, but I can show you on my laptop here. Notes everywhere, all over, in my belongings, in boxes. I was kind of looking through boxes. He threw everything on top of each other. There's coffee mixed with kitchen knives mixed with just stuff all thrown in together. And there was a shit ton of Diet Pepsi in bags, which I appreciated. So I guess I can say thank you for that. But let's see if I can pull them up here. All of these notes that we found all over the house. And they're really, really, really bizarre. Really bizarre. You know, I guess he was supposed to send the Diet Pepsi to the homeless or something. But you guys can see these notes that were left all over. Let me read some of them to you, okay? It says, just us, always. I always did. It says, I fucked up, and I know it, and I hate myself. Another note says, for people who told you, or who told me, didn't have your back. I don't know what that means. I never gave up on us. You did. Jennifer Ann saved my life for whatever chapter I now have to close, and I will always love her for that. I don't know who he's writing to. If he's writing to me, if he's writing to, there were a lot of voices going on at the time, I believe. He thought that the sheriff, the Cottonwood County Sheriff was at the door. I think there's videos about that. He's talking to himself. There's a note here that says, it should have been us, but you are not a loyal friend or partner. It says, oh, you guys will like this. Apparently he was writing a note to my family, and it had some golf passes, you know, that I had bought in a YMCA auction. It says, please enjoy these with our family. I truly am sorry. I truly love your daughter, sister, aunt. That's creepy. It says, it says, Jen saved my life, fixed my relationship with my family, and should be known for the beautiful, amazing, altruistic empath that she is. And I will forever love her for her. Now, you guys have all been probably listening for the past, now it's 117 days where he spun it around to, that's what he said, a month after I walked out of the house. Protection order's already in place. But then he's writing notes saying that I fixed his relationship with his family, with his children, but now he's using it that I have pulled him away from his children, that I'm the liar that took him away from his family. No, I got a note here that says I was not. There's a crumpled up one here. That says, Jen, I promise if you ever want to be back in my life, I would love, honor your friendship, your presence, your stewardship. You are an altruistic empath again. And I love you for that. This one here says, thank you so much. I'm very sorry. I would assume that he was writing that to me, but who knows? And then this one, which was really, really weird, says, I am sorry, Timber and Alpine. I didn't want to ruin our family. He wrote a note to the dogs. Creepy. So I find these notes all over the place. And, you know, they're in boxes. Some are around, some are crumpled up, but they're everywhere so that I could see them. And then the next thing that I find is I go into the office. There's like shattered glass, and I know exactly what it was from. It was for his 50th birthday. My parents spent hours, I kid you not, hours, folding up little origami dollar bills in all these different shapes, and they were adorable, $51 bills. And they spent so much time to give those to him for his 50th birthday in April. And I had taken all of those little origami pieces and bought a nice big frame and had framed it for him. And while he was at that Vegas pool party, or not at the pool party, getting kicked out of the pool party, I was creating this memory for him, and I hung it, you know, in the entryway from the garage so that he could see it, because he said he loved it. He had, I think this was in a Snapchat, either punched out the glass or poured everything out, and had taken that. And the first thing that he did was he threatened on Snapchat to drive to my mother's house and hand it back to her. We all saw him driving. He never showed up. She was terrified, absolutely terrified. But then when I was back at the house getting my stuff, I realized this glass is probably from that picture frame where he took all the money out of it. And then I look over and underneath the desk is my laptop. My laptop. And this laptop, you guys, I kid you not, this shit should be on Dateline. You see it? That's blood. That's blood, people. He left blood all over my laptop. What the fuck? And I tried scrubbing it and scrubbing it and scrubbing it and scrubbing it, and I cannot get it off. And it is sitting in a storage unit. And it's been there ever since because I can't even look at it. I need the laptop because I want the stuff off of it, but there's blood all over my laptop. That's creepy. So then we get all the stuff. I'm out of there. Done. I even cleaned the place because it was filthy. I spent the time cleaning it. You know, there was the mirrors, gross. So my family's like, why are you cleaning it? I'm like, I don't know. That's just me. So that was August 19th. That's when I left, and he was back, I believe, the morning of the 20th, that Sunday morning. So that's when I talk about unpacking. It's super, super creepy, and that's what was left behind. But there's another thing that I want to show you guys that I talked about last night, was, you know, at work, when he was following me at work and calling my office and calling my boss. He says once, courts don't issue a restraining order for one phone call. It was multiple, and I heard them, and it was awful. It was humiliating, awful. But I took this picture this morning, and this is posted at every YMCA. Do not allow entry if seen on property. Call 911. That's what my people see every day. That is what they see. So the other things that were found, I believe you guys maybe had seen this if you were on his Snapchat, was all the sidewalk chalk. He took sidewalk chalk to like the entire garage and wrote notes, "This is our home," and it was weird stuff. It was all over the place. I've got a picture of that somewhere. And then, yeah, it was just nuts. So every day for the past 117 days, you know, and like I said last night, I'm not perfect. I screwed up a lot. But from the day that he got here to Colorado, none of the stuff that he's been talking about for 117 days mattered. None of it was relevant or important, but now it is, because it makes him the victim. And he's not. And so the craziness just continues and continues. And I love all of you guys. I appreciate all of you guys being in here. But like, I heard some stuff today. You know, they talking about that there's a video out there of me beating him. I didn't know I was capable of that. There's probably a video of me putting my finger in his face this close and saying, "Get the camera out of my face." That's it. If such a video exists, I would love to see it, but I couldn't beat him. I couldn't beat him. So that's just a portion of the unpacking. You know, like I said, all of my belongings are in a storage unit. You could see me, yeah. Look at these guns. You know what my bowling name is, and I even had a t-shirt made? Noodle Arms. Look at these. There's nothing here. Here's a great question right here. And the comments are going so fast, I apologize. Like, I know you guys are asking a lot of different things, but a great question in here says, have I taken self-defense? Not formally, but what happened with the courts and what my advocate team has done for me is they put me in front of the district attorney's board, and there's a compensation fund which is out there for folks that have been in my situation, and maybe some of you are familiar with it. But they did award self-defense classes and also home security, which is great. So that was a bit of, I've got the most incredible network of people, and it's just been, like I said, so overwhelming, the amount of support. There's so much I want to tell you guys. Amber, thank you. There's so much that I want to tell you guys, but I also want to have other people have the opportunity to speak, to share their stories, to share how they've been done wrong. I know there's a lot of questions about money, charities, scamming, frauds. There's a lot of questions. And there's things that I can talk to you about. There's things that, to be honest, I don't know. I've got a job. I go to work every day. I work a lot. And, but I will tell you, what I don't do is I don't misappropriate funds. He'll say that, while I was cheating on my husband, that I had work conferences, and he would tag along at the end. Those times where it was just him and I paid for it. You guys want to see the receipts? I'll show you. I'd be happy to. There's a lot, and I know you guys have a lot of questions about that. And we're going to get to that. I promise you, we're going to get to those things. But I really want to do just short little things because it's a lot to talk through. And a lot of people have stuff that they want to say. And I really hope that people feel like they have a voice, that they can, that they truly can. And if I was wrong, I'll admit it. Was there that time where I was not honest with Hockey Golf Dad? 100%. Do I feel like a shitty person for that? 100%. But I did accept responsibility for that and everything that comes with it, with him, with my family, with my coworkers, with my friends, with my ex-husband. And I'm okay with it. I truly am. But what I do want to say, and I want you guys to hear me loud and clear, to all the women especially out there that are in his chats, that are out there supporting him or saying that I am doing this for attention, I want to say, shame on you. Shame on you for not allowing a woman who has dealt with him and put up with him from the abuse. We talked about the definition last night, and it stands true. Shame on you for not allowing me to have a voice, for me to be able to tell my truth and my story. He's not your friend. He is not your friend. What he wants is your money. That's it. That's it. So if that's the message I can get across, don't allow it to happen. Know who your friends are. Know who you are supporting. There's good people. There's not good people. Know who you are supporting. And if and I don't care. You don't have to be Team Jen or Team Dan. I think the logical way to go is to not support somebody who is who he is. But come on. Come on. Did I want him to work? 100%. From the time that him and I started talking. Okay, so let's go back to October 12th. I was at a conference and I was scrolling through TikTok and saw he was on a live, and his girlfriend at the time was on a live, and they were going at it against each other and having an argument. And then my name got brought up. I didn't even know these people. So apparently he had been following me or something, but I had been following him and watching him, but quiet. My name got brought up, and then that night he had messaged me, and that's where the conversation started. At the time, he was, a couple months out of jail. This was, yeah, what, 3, 4 months out of jail for the probation violation for buying a case of beer. But it was for violation of his probation of felony terroristic threats. So you don't violate your probation and then you don't go to jail. That's just part of it. So that's when we started talking. His unemployment that he was collecting was running out, so the funds were dry. And part of it was, and I'll be honest, I was tackling. Thank you. Was delaying him from showing up here in Colorado. I'm honest. That was the truth. And so it was get a job. And also part of it too was he wasn't working when I met him. He was just drinking and goofing off on TikTok all day. And I said, get a job. So he went and worked for the other truck line. And he did that for a couple weeks. And then he started battling and realized he could make more money. Battling. And at the time I'm like, okay, fine. If that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do. So I made him work. I told him to go to work and he was miserable, hated every second of it. And then he quit. And then he started battling. And he was making, okay money. Nothing great, nothing like what he was in July of 22. But then, let's see, we went to New Orleans. We did a couple of meetups. Went to Vegas a couple times. So here's the thing. Unemployment. You cannot collect it while you're in jail. It's against the law. So it's part of it too. You can't do that. So anyways, that's a whole nother topic. But so he was battling. We went on a couple of trips, yada, yada, yada. And then he came out here in February of 22. And then we started living together. And I'll tell you, at the beginning, I was love bombed. I was happy. It was everything I wanted. It was good. And then you guys know what happened from there. So did he make 6 figures? He did. He absolutely did. But part of it too, for you guys that don't know, is when you accept and you get gifts and stuff from the app, is, it goes through PayPal, and PayPal does send you a 1099K. And so then you are responsible for reporting that income, and then you're taxed on it. And you're taxed a lot because unless you have another job or something, you have to contribute. And so it's like 35% or somewhere around there. So when you make as much as he did, and that was just on one account, you've got to pay your taxes. And when you don't do it on time, you're penalized. So now we're in November? That's a pretty significant tax bill right there. I've worked every day since I was 15 years old. I worked with my mother. I got my first full-time job when I was in high school, worked in college, and have had a 20-year career. I pay my taxes. I pay a lot in taxes. I know we all do. That's what you do. And if you don't, they will find out. You will be penalized, and it is a big crime not to do so. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack, but I really wanted to show you guys just kind of some really creepy shit. And so I know we said we're going to do 30 minutes, but what I would like to do is tomorrow night, I want to invite some people in here. And so I'm going to reach out to a few people with their permission. Thank you for the hand hearts. Thank you guys. That would like to share their story, their interactions, ask me questions. I'm an open book, and let's talk. There's a lot to say, but I really, really, really want you people, everybody, is allow people to have a voice, to speak their truth. He talks a lot about First Amendment rights and yada, yada, yada. He has done nothing but humiliate me for 117 days. It's my turn. And the goal, again, is not to hate. It's to speak the truth and to answer questions anybody may have. So that's where we're at tonight. I appreciate all of you guys being in here. Tune in tomorrow night, same time. We're going to do this every night. And I'm going to reach out to a few people. And I think you're going to be surprised. And you guys are going to be excited to have some people to be able to have their own voice. And we're going to be honest. And we're going to have these honest conversations. And I'm excited. So can't thank you guys enough for being in here. I see all of you. I promise I do. The comments are going so quick. So same time tomorrow night. Thank you for allowing me to have a voice. Please help spread awareness and the word out there. And come on, people. Don't hate, but allow people to be able to speak that have been in a situation like mine, that have either gone through it in the past or going through it now. Everybody has a voice and deserves to speak. And if you have stories that you want to share with me privately, I will gladly listen and I will back you up. But this is my time to be able to speak. So appreciate all of you. We will see you tomorrow night and we're going to have some special guests. So everybody take care and we'll see you tomorrow on Truth Be Told.